Yes, my child, I will speak now with the full weight of my voice. What you are about to hear is not casual encouragement. It is sacred instruction. It is divine unveiling. It is me, the Lord your God, reaching into the depths of your timeline and whispering what you didn't even know you needed. This message is not random. It was planted into your path, just like every divine interruption that seemed out of place but was always on time. You didn't stumble across this video. I summoned you. I orchestrated this moment before your breath first touched the earth. You're not just here to watch. You're here to awaken. You've been questioning your journey, wondering why certain doors opened and others slammed shut. You've been staring at barren ground, asking if I ever planted anything in you at all. I will speak of seeds you didn't know were mine. I will reveal how your detours were not delays but design. I will expose how even the thorns serve your destiny. I will uncover why I placed you there, yes, even there, and why the harvest I'm bringing cannot be rushed. You must hear it to the end. Not because I need your attention, but because your future does. Because there are things buried in this message that will unlock doors, break cycles, and breathe life into what you thought was dead. If you listened halfway, you live half full. And I didn't anoint you for survival. I planted you for impact. So stay. Sit in my presence. Let every word grip you, convict you, restore you, and ignite you. This is not entertainment. This is encounter. This is holy ground. And once you begin, you are accountable for what you hear. Because what I've planted in your path, I now call to life. My child, listen now with the ears of your soul, for I am speaking directly into the hidden places of your heart. The seeds I planted in your life, every desire, every vision, every burden that stirs you in the quiet of the night, they were not scattered by chance or swept into your path by the winds of randomness. I chose the soil of your life with divine precision. I studied the landscape of your heart and planted each seed with care, not one misplaced, not one forgotten. You may look around and see barren ground, but I see a garden being born beneath the surface. I see harvests hidden under the soil of your waiting. I see colors you've never imagined ready to burst forth in their appointed season. You've questioned the timing. You've whispered in frustration, why now? Why here? But hear me, beloved, nothing in your journey is accidental. Not the friendships gained or the ones lost. Not the detours that made no sense. Not the opportunities that fell apart in your hands. I am the author of your story, the gardener of your soul. I plant with eternal purpose. What I plant, I water. What I water, I watch over. And what I watch over, I bring to life in power and fullness. You may not see the growth yet, but trust this. The roots are reaching. The seed is not dead, it's preparing. What looks dormant is being refined in the unseen. Come closer, breathe deeply. I want you to feel my intention pulsing through your every step. I want you to know that I did not simply allow you to be where you are. I placed you there. Yes, even in that uncomfortable job. Even in that silence that feels like abandonment. Even in that town, that family, that circumstance that feels too tight for your dreams. I am not wasteful, and I do not plan without purpose. Lift your eyes. Fix your gaze on me. I have not asked you to bloom overnight. I have asked you to trust the process of becoming. I have asked you to keep watering the promises with obedience, to keep pulling out the weeds of fear, comparison, and despair. I have asked you to stay in the soil where I placed you, because only there will your roots reach the depths they need for the harvest I have prepared. So step into this truth. I am not late. I am not distant. I am not careless. I am deliberate in every move I make in your life. Even the delays are dripping with my design. Even the silence is saturated with my voice, speaking in ways that words could never carry. When you feel forgotten, remember this: I am the one who never sleeps, who never overlooks, who never walks away from what I planned. My eye is upon the seed, my breath is upon the soil, and my hand is over you. Take heart, my child. You are ready unfolding. Do not pull up what I've buried to see if it's working. Do not curse the dark places that feel like burial. They are wombs, not tombs. They are the beginning of miracles you cannot yet comprehend. My timing is perfect, and my ways are higher than your striving. Trust my timing. Trust my touch. Trust the seeds because I planted them, and I never plant without expecting beauty. Now, open your heart wide. Stand in the stillness and declare, my Father planted this, and I will not doubt the harvest. Let that be your anthem when the ground feels hard. Let that be your banner when others bloom before you. Let that be your reminder when the waiting stretches longer than your understanding. I am the gardener, and I finish what I begin. My child, your seed is alive, and so is your future. My child, do not misinterpret my timing. What you call a delay, I call a deepening. I withhold not because I reject, but because I prepare. You are not being overlooked, you are being rooted. And roots, my beloved, grow in the dark. They expand in silence. They spread far beneath the surface where no eyes can see, but where strength is made. You cry out for the fruit, but I am building the foundation. You long to rise, but I am teaching you to stand when no one is watching, when nothing is blooming, when all you have is trust. Stop measuring your life by what you see above ground. Start trusting what I'm doing in the hidden places. Your delay is not your death. It is the sacred pause where I am anchoring your soul so that the winds won't uproot you when the harvest comes. I delay to deepen you, not to deny you. Denial ends something. I am beginning something eternal. Can you feel it beneath the surface? A stirring, a stretch. That ache in your spirit is not abandonment, it's expansion. The waiting is weighty because the call is great. I would not ask you to wait if what I was preparing wasn't worth it. So, remain. Remain even when it feels like nothing's moving. Remain when the soil feels cold and your prayers feel unanswered. I am working. I am moving. I am cultivating. While you wait, I am preparing people, circumstances, and miracles to align with the purpose I placed within you. Even when you sleep, I am still tending to the seed. Nothing is idle in my kingdom. Every moment is layered with design. Every second soaked in eternity. Let your faith take root in my word. Let your hope drink from my promises. Let your soul lean on me when answers are nowhere to be found. I will sustain you. I will not let you wither. You are not being punished. You are being preserved. Because the weight of your destiny demands roots strong enough to carry it. Now lift your eyes, my child. Stop digging up what I'm still growing. Stop comparing your season to another's. You are not behind. You are becoming. And when you feel forgotten, declare aloud, I'm being rooted. I'm being readied. I am in the hands of my God, and He does not waste time. Hold that truth close. Let it become your breath when fear whispers that you've missed your moment. You haven't missed anything. You are exactly where I need you to be. Stand still. Grow deep. Your roots will carry rivers in dry seasons. The fruit will come, but first, let me complete the work below. Trust me. I have not delayed you to disappoint you. I have delayed you so that when you rise, nothing will be able to shake you. This is not denial. This is design. Remain in me, and you will see it unfold. You've looked at the pain and asked me why. You've run your fingers across the wounds and wondered if I was near. Hear me now. I was there in the thorns. I have never turned my face from you. I do not send harm, but I do use what was meant to break you to build something eternal within you. The thorns in your path were not to destroy you. They were to refine you. Even roses grow guarded, and I have wrapped you in thorns not to hurt you, but to protect what I am growing inside you. Do not despise what has made you stronger. The heartbreak that drove you to your knees, the betrayal that tore through your soul, the trial that stripped you bare, they are not wasted. I am the master gardener, and even the cutting has purpose. I prune what will bear more. I cut back so that you may flourish in ways you never imagined. The pain awakened your dependence. The thorn humbled your pride. The suffering opened your spirit to receive me more deeply. You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and say, "It was good that I was afflicted, for it taught me to cling to you." That is the mystery of my grace. It meets you in the thorn bush and makes it holy ground. It doesn't remove the thorn immediately, it redeems it. My grace doesn't always take the pain away, but it always makes a way through it. So don't let the thorn define your story. Let it become the place where you learn to lean. Let it mark the moment when your voice stopped echoing through the world and finally reached my throne. Let it be the altar where weakness gave way to my strength. For in your weakness, my power is perfected. Do not curse the hardship, my child. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. Let it show you the depths of my love that comfort cannot reveal. And know this, I am using what hurt you to prepare what will heal others through you. Your scars will be testimonies. Your pain will become power in my hands. You will not be crushed, you will be carved. So breathe now. Don't pull away from the thorn. Let it do its work, for it is not the end of your story. I am. And I say, you are growing. You are being made strong. You are being made new. Let the thorn remind you that you are not forgotten. You are being formed. My child, I did not plant you alone. I have placed people in your life, not by coincidence but by divine orchestration. Some have come to bless you, others to challenge you, and still others to awaken what you've buried deep inside. Do not be quick to dismiss those I have allowed to walk beside you. Even the ones who tested your patience, even the ones who walked away, they served a purpose. I use people like chisels to shape your soul. I send encouragers to uplift, and I send refiners to reveal. Every encounter is part of my tapestry. Some people are answers to your prayers. You just didn't recognize them when they came. Others are mirrors, revealing where your heart still needs healing. And a few are vessels of my mercy, placed in your path to show you how to love the way I love you. It's not always easy, but it's always intentional. You have asked me for strength, and I've placed beside you the one who presses your patience so you can practice it. You've asked for growth, and I've surrounded you with soil that isn't always soft, because your roots must learn to press through resistance to grow strong. But do not fear. I am with you in the company and in the solitude. When others abandon you, I remain. When the crowd grows silent, my voice grows louder. Do not confuse isolation with abandonment. Sometimes I remove you to restore you. Sometimes I silence others so you can finally hear me. When the room empties, don't run. Listen. I am closer than the breath in your lungs. And when people hurt you, forgive. I did not call you to carry the burden of bitterness. I planted grace within you for this very reason. Be slow to cast away what I've sent. Be quick to release what I have removed. Your assignment is not to judge but to discern. I will show you who to hold and who to release. Trust me in this. So today, I ask you to open your eyes and look again. That friend you've overlooked may be your provision. That stranger may be an angel in disguise. That difficult person may be the catalyst for your breakthrough. Speak blessings, even when misunderstood. Offer grace, even when rejected. Love deeply, not because they deserve it, but because I love you first. You are never alone in this story. I am weaving lives together for your good and my glory. Let me guide you in your relationships. Let me heal the places where people have wounded you. And above all, remember, I am always near. I planted people in your life for a reason, but I planted myself within you so you would never be without love. You grieved over the door that would not open. You stood there with hope trembling in your chest, waiting for it to swing wide. And when it didn't, you asked, "Why, God?" My child, lean in. Let me tell you why. The doors I closed were not punishments. They were protections. They were answers to prayers you didn't even know how to speak. While you saw opportunity, I saw the trap beyond it. While you begged for access, I saw the cost of that yes, and I could not let it touch you. Every no I've ever given you carried a shield. Every silence concealed a divine intervention. You don't see the enemies I've slain behind walls. You don't hear the footsteps I redirected that were never meant to walk beside you. I shut what would have stolen your joy. I barred the way where your peace would have been trampled. And I know it hurt. I know it felt like rejection. But I was loving you with force. I was loving you with wisdom. You asked me to lead, and I did. You just didn't recognize that sometimes I lead by stopping your steps. I know it's hard to thank me for what you never got to see. But you must trust this. Nothing I withhold is wasted. If a door shut, it was soaked in my mercy. If a path vanished, it was veiled by my love. You only saw what was in front of you. I saw what was 5 steps beyond. I knew the weight it would place on your shoulders. I knew the distraction it would become to your calling. I knew it would delay the promises I've already set in motion. So stop calling my protection a failure. Stop defining your future by a door I sealed shut. I reroute you not to confuse you but to preserve your purpose. And when one door closes, I open another. Not just any door, but the one that leads to fullness, peace, and divine alignment. I will not give you what you beg for if it contradicts what I build you for. I do not answer based on desperation. I respond according to destiny. Now hear me. Release the door. Stop knocking where I am no longer dwelling. Your next season does not live behind that frame. Look to me, not to what didn't happen. Look to what I'm about to do. I will open doors no man can shut. I will part waters where there was no path. I will make the wilderness bloom again. But you must turn your eyes forward. You must believe that I know what I'm doing. Lift your head. Wipe the tears from that closed door and see the horizon I've set before you. The gate I open will not be temporary. It will carry you into the exact place your soul has cried out for. I am the one who closes with purpose and opens with precision. Trust what I block. Trust what I redirect. Trust me even in the no. Because every closed door in your life has been a seed of protection, and it will bloom into a garden of greater things. You'll see it soon. Just keep walking. My child, do not stop here. I've only begun to unfold what I've hidden in your journey. If you turn away now, you may never recognize how I've transformed your no into protection. Would you walk away while my hands are still working? Hey, I am still speaking. What comes next will answer the ache you've buried deepest. Don't break the thread I've been weaving. My heart would mourn to see you abandon the truth I've prepared just for you. The thunder you fear was not sent to destroy, it was sent to awaken. My child, the storm you're in right now, the winds that howl against your peace, the downpour that has soaked your plans, all of it carries my hand. I do not bring chaos, but I do command the rain. I know what your soul needs, even when you resist it. And sometimes, the only way to water what I've planted in you is through a storm. Do not mistake the shaking for abandonment. I am not far off watching you struggle. I am in the rain. I am in the wind. I'm walking through the tempest with you. And what feels like breaking is actually birthing. I allow the clouds to gather so that heaven's nourishment can fall. Your soil was dry. Your dreams were buried beneath layers of doubt. And so I sent the storm, not to drown you, but to soften the ground and make room for growth. The storm stirs what was stagnant. It awakens what was asleep. It brings nutrients from heaven that only come through the trembling. You asked me for growth, for transformation, for deeper faith. This is how it comes. I never said it would feel easy, but I did say I would never leave you. And I haven't. I'm right here, soaking the ground with my spirit, watering every hidden seed with purpose. I know you don't like the noise, the mess, the fear. But let me ask you, have I ever let you drown? Did the storm consume you last time, or did it carry you to a deeper trust? Look back and remember, every storm you've endured brought a deeper version of yourself into being. And this one will too. Let go of the illusion that growth comes in sunshine alone. You need the rain. You need the shaking. You need the sacred disruption that reminds you I am in control. So breathe. Anchor yourself in me. Let the storm pass through, but do not let it pass without learning. There is beauty in the bending. There is life in the lightning. There is clarity in the downpour. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. What I water, I grow. And I will grow you through this, into something unshakable. Hold your head high in the storm. Declare that I am near. Say out loud, my Father is raining on my seed. My future is being formed in this storm. Let that be your truth when the thunder rolls. Because after the rain, there will be fruit. And that fruit will be sweeter because it came through a season where you didn't give up. You held on. And I brought the harvest. The dream in your heart. The one you've questioned. The one you've buried under layers of fear and logic. I placed it there. Yes, I did. I whispered it into your spirit before you ever knew how to walk in it. A desire to build, to create, to restore, to change things. It was born from my breath. I didn't give you a dream to tease you. I planted it to awaken your faith. Your dreams are not fantasies. They are not distractions. They are divine invitations. But they cannot grow in doubt. You must water them with trust. You must tend to them even when no one believes in them. Do not kill what I've planted with your fear. Do not let the lies of others uproot what I declared over you in secret. I speak destiny before you see direction. I stir longing before I reveal the path. You don't need every detail. You need believe. Faith is the soil in which dreams thrive. I control, not understanding, but surrender. And when you walk in obedience, even without clarity, I move mountains. I open doors. I send resources. I align timelines. I bring what you cannot orchestrate. Because when your dream aligns with my will, nothing can stop it from bearing fruit. You have disqualified yourself because of timing, because of age, because of mistakes. Stop it. What I plan, I prepare. What I prepare, I fulfill. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. The dream still lives because I still breathe upon it. And if you would only trust me again, pick it up again, step out again, I will meet you with power you have never known. Let the fear fall off. Let the comparisons dissolve. Your dream doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It was formed for your hands, your journey, your voice. Don't let delay make you doubt the dream. Don't bury it again. I planted it to bring life to others through you. It is a light waiting to shine, a river waiting to flow, a mountain waiting to be moved by your faith. So rise. Speak it aloud. Say, my dream is from God, and it is alive. Take that vision out of the grave. Dust it off. Ask me for the next step. I will not leave you directionless. I will not tease you with visions I will not fulfill. If I gave it, I will grow it. And in time, it will bloom. Your faith is not wasted. Your dream is not dead. You are not forgotten. Give walk-u, tiv build-u, give believe. Because I planted that dream not just for you, but for generations yet to come. My child, do not shrink beneath the weight of your trials. These moments of testing were not sent to crush you, but to reveal what I have placed within you. What I plant, I fortify. What I entrust to you, I anchor. And it is in the testing that the strength of the seed is revealed. You must understand this truth. Your struggle is not the sign of your weakness. It is the sign of your calling. I only test what I intend to use greatly. I only refine what I plan to reveal. When you walk through fire, I am not absent. I walk beside you in the flames. I shield what matters most. I allow the heat not to punish you, but to purify you. I strip away the distractions that keep you from seeing what I've truly built in you. Trials bring the surface things to collapse, so the eternal things can rise. Do not despise the refining. It is working for you something far beyond your understanding. It is producing gold where there was once only ore. It is unlocking wisdom forged in suffering, faith tempered in battle, and endurance not learned in peace but in pressing forward when all else shakes. You want to know what you're made of? Watch who you become in the furnace. Watch what comes out of your mouth in the valley. Watch who you run to when the pressure rises. These are the places where shallow roots fail, but the seed I've planted in you, this seed grows deeper the harder the rain falls. It was built for this. You were built for this. You were never meant to pass through trials without me, and you never have. I have stood guard beside you in the shadows. I have gone before you in the desert. I have held your hand when you thought it was the end. And it wasn't the end. It was only the beginning of a deeper strength you didn't know you carried. Let my word be your compass. Let it anchor your heart when emotions threaten to mislead you. Let it drown out the voices that say you'll fail. My promises are fireproof. My truth doesn't melt under pressure. When everything shakes, I do not. And neither will you, if you build upon me. So, rise in the trial. Declare your identity in the middle of the storm. Say, this will not break me, it will reveal me. My Father is with me, and He has planted resilience in my soul. Hold that truth tightly. Let it guide your next step. And know this, when the testing is complete, you will emerge not only stronger, you will shine. Because trials don't just expose, they elevate. They lift the faithful into places of authority and glory. I never allow what I will not redeem. I never test without reward. And I never abandon what I refine. You are not being destroyed, You are being revealed. You stared at the ruins and whispered that it's finished. You've looked at broken plans, shattered dreams, and lifeless promises and believed the story was over. But I tell you now, it is not over. Not when I am involved. I specialize in resurrection. I enter tombs and call forth life. I speak into silence and summon songs. I reach into the grave of your hope and raise it with one breath. My child, nothing is too lost for me to redeem. Nothing is too dead for me to revive. Where you see endings, I see beginnings. Where you feel emptiness, I am planting eternity. I am the God who turns ashes into beauty, not someday, but now. Let me show you what I can do with your sorrow. Let me breathe upon the areas of your life that have grown cold. I did not give you the vision so it could die. I gave it so that it could rise, reborn, reshaped, resurrected with power. There is still more. There is still breathe. There is still possibility soaked in heaven's oil, ready to spark the flame once more. You may have counted yourself out. You may have believed the lie that time has passed, that chances are gone, that too many mistakes have piled up for me to rebuild. But I never asked for your perfection. I only ever asked for your surrender. Hand me the ashes. Bring me what's broken. Give me the pieces others rejected. I do not see waste. I see the beginning of miracles. Lift your head, my child. Refuse to bury what I have spoken. My word does not return void. My promise does not expire. My power is not limited by your timeline. Look again. Hope again. Dream again. I planted hope in the very place you declared the end. I chose that spot, that heartbreak, that wilderness, to display my glory. Do not curse the dead places. They are about to shake with new life. Say it aloud, my God is not finished. My hope is not dead. My future is still alive. Let those words cut through the fog. Let them awaken what's been asleep. You've seen darkness, but light is breaking. You've wept through nights, but joy is coming. I never forsake my own. I never abandon what I've begun. You may not see the path, but I am clearing it. You may not feel strong, but I am strengthening you. Let me breathe on you again. Let me raise what you've buried. Let me remind you that in me, even endings resurrect into beginnings. I planted hope in the exact place where you thought nothing could grow, and it will bloom. Every seed I've placed in your life carries potential, but that potential must be watered. And the water, my child, is obedience. Not emotion, not excitement, not grand gestures. It is simple, quiet obedience, day after day, step after step, even when you don't see anything growing. Your yes in private is what waters what I've hidden in your heart. Every act of trust, every surrendered decision, every moment you say, I will follow you, pours life into the seed of your future. You want me to move mountains, but I'm asking you to move your feet. You're waiting for signs, but I'm waiting for your obedience. Miracles follow movement. Transformation follows obedience. I cannot bless what you refuse to act on. I won't force the growth. I invite you to partner with it. And even when the result isn't immediate, I see every drop of water. I see every tear you've cried in faith. I see every time you've walked forward not knowing where it would lead. That's obedience. That's power. Obedience is not always understanding. It's trust. Trust that I know what I'm doing. Trust that I am already ahead of you. Trust that I will never lead you where my grace cannot carry you. Your yes releases my favor. Your yes releases provision. Your yes makes room for what I've already prepared. So don't wait until it makes sense. Don't wait until you feel ready. Step when I speak. Move when I nudge. I will meet you there. I'm not asking you to perform. I'm asking you to believe me enough to obey. I am not impressed with perfection. I am drawn to your trust. And when you walk in obedience, even in weakness, I bring strength. Even in uncertainty, I bring clarity. Even in pain, I bring peace. So take the next step. Forgive when it's hard. Speak when it's scary. Give when it stretches you. Serve when no one sees. Pray when the silence screams. All of it waters the seed. All of it draws the roots deeper. I am watching. I am responding. I am multiplying every step of faith. Do not despise the small beginnings. Do not measure the impact of your obedience by what you see. Heaven moves on the sound of your yes. My angels respond to your faith, and I will reward what no one else sees. Obedience is the pathway to the supernatural. It is the bridge between promise and fulfillment. It is the door through which destiny walks. You've waited long enough. You've wondered long enough. Now walk. Trust. Obey. Water the seed. I will bring the harvest. I always do. You've just heard how your obedience waters what I planted. Now let that obedience move into action. You've prayed, use me, Lord. This is how I'm answering you. Every super thanks, every membership, every seed sown through PayPal, yes, even that, is more than support. It is a watering of someone else's desert. When you give, you don't fund a platform. You unlock healing, break chains, and carry my voice into places you will never see, but I will. I said, give, and it will be given to you. And I do not speak in vain. This moment is not random. What you do now becomes part of someone's eternal harvest. Act now. Give. Let your faith move like rain, and I will release my reward like rivers over your life. PayPal donation link is in the video description. Do you feel me drawing you closer? This is no coincidence. If you stop now, you may miss the moment where obedience turns into overflow. I've led you through valleys, and now I long to show you the mountain. Don't silence my voice midway. Your spirit has already begun to awaken. Don't lull it back to sleep. What follows carries keys to doors you've been praying for. Keep going, for your breakthrough is pressing through the soil even now. You've carried the weight of regret like a chain around your soul, dragging behind you the memories of what could have been, what should have been. But I want you to hear me now. I already knew every moment you would fall. I saw every misstep before you took it. I watched as you wrestled with weakness, as you chose paths that led away from my will. And still, I planted grace in that very soil. I did not walk away. I did not change my mind. I did not cancel my plans for you. I knew what you would break, and I prepared a covering before your first breath. My grace is not conditional. It is not reserved for the flawless. It is not dependent on your performance. It is mine to give, and I have poured it out without hesitation. Where you see shame, I see an invitation. Where you see disqualification, I see transformation. My child, come closer. Bring me the wreckage. Bring me the words you wish you could unspeak. Bring me the decisions that haunt your sleep. I am not intimidated by your past. I do not flinch at your failures. I already made provision. I planned in grace where you made mistakes, not as a backup plan, but as part of the redemptive process. My grace is not a band-aid. It is a resurrection. It takes the ashes of your worst moments and rebuilds them into altars of power. You will stand again. You will rise not in spite of what you've done, but because I have used even that to forge something holy. Your wounds will not bleed forever. I am binding them. I am healing them. I am turning them into wells of compassion that will refresh others. Let go of the lie that you are too far gone. Reject the voice that says you must hide. Stop rehearsing your shame. I have already declared you clean. I've washed your hands. I've rewritten your story with mercy. What man remembers to condemn, I erase to restore. And when I redeem a person, I do it fully. There is no halfway healing in me, no conditional forgiveness, no hesitant restoration. My cross did not leave any of your sins untouched. To walk forward, not with your head down, but with your heart lifted. You are not the same. I have planted grace where guilt once ruled. You are no longer defined by what you did. You are defined by who I say you are. Chosen, redeemed, called, anointed. Yours is not a future bound by failure. It is a destiny set apart by my love. Today, take my hand. Leave behind the false identity forged in failure. Embrace the truth. I am the God who uses broken people to build unshakable kingdoms. And I planted grace in the exact place where you fell, so you could rise in the power of my love. You've questioned your worth because you couldn't see immediate fruit. You've compared your journey to others and wondered if I gave you anything of value. But hear me now. I placed gifts within you, gifts that are not random, not accidental, and certainly not small. I handpicked them for your hands, your heart, your season. I didn't scatter them like loose change across the earth. I embedded them deep inside you like hidden treasure, waiting to be discovered, nurtured, and matured. The world may have overlooked you, but I never did. I saw your potential before you took your first breath. I wrapped you in purpose. I wove your identity with intention. But just as seeds must first remain hidden in darkness before they bloom, your gifts need time. They need pressure. They need process. Do not rush the unfolding. Do not despise the quiet years. They are not wasted. They are sacred. Your gift may feel buried, but buried is not dead. It is incubating. I've covered it with my timing. I've shielded it from premature exposure. If I were to put it forth too early, it would not withstand the weight of what's coming. I love you too much to rot what I've placed in you. Let me unfold it, layer by layer, season by season. Use what I've given you now, even if it feels unseen. Speak, even when the room is small. Create, even when the platform is absent. Serve, even when applause is silent. I see. I reward. I grow what is faithful. The smallest offering in obedience becomes mighty when I breathe upon it. Do not underestimate the gift because of how it looks in this moment. The seed does not resemble the tree, but the tree is already in the seed. Stop comparing your bloom to another's. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are on divine schedule. I am not late. I'm exact. And your gift will make room for you, not by striving, but by surrender. Your job is not to perform. It is to steward. It is to water what I planted, to protect it from bitterness and neglect, to stretch it in private so I can display it in public. When it's time, I will shine a light on what I've hidden, and no one will be able to deny the anointing. Until then, prepare, practice, pray. Keep your heart soft and your spirit ready, because I do not place gifts that go unused. Everything I put in you is for impact. Everything I placed in you will serve a purpose. Let this be your declaration. My gift is not forgotten. My season is coming. My God is growing what He has planted in me. And let that truth guide your steps until the bloom breaks open. I planted your gifts with eternity in mind. Trust me with their time to bloom. You have wondered if you took a wrong turn, if you missed the mark, if you strayed too far from my plan to remain intact. But I tell you now, not a single step has fallen outside my view. I am not bound by your confusion. I am not limited by your detours. I do not panic when you falter. Your path is marked, not by accident, not by guesswork, but by divine appointments that I set in motion long before your first breath. Every meeting, every pause, every sudden shift was not just allowed, it was arranged. I have gone before you. I've stood at the crossroads and chosen the way. I've positioned people, opportunities, and even interruptions to align with your calling. Even what looked like delay was an appointment with destiny. Even what felt like a loss was a redirection toward something greater. I'm always guiding. I'm always aligning. Let me lift the weight of uncertainty from your shoulders. You do not walk in chaos. You walk in divine choreography. Heaven moves with every step you take in faith. The encounters you dismissed as random carried messages from my throne. The jobs you thought were temporary trained your hands for what is to come. The rooms you entered without recognition still marked you with purpose. Your path is not off course, it's in process. Even the wilderness has purpose. Even the detour has direction. I open doors no man can shut. I position you where you will bear the most fruit. I prepare tables before you, not behind you. And when you feel disoriented, that is your signal to lean not on your own understanding, but to acknowledge me again. I will make the crooked path straight. Let your steps slow down. Walk with awareness. Look for my fingerprints in the ordinary. Listen for my voice in the interruptions. What you call inconvenience may be divine encounter. I speak through pivot places pod. I plant revelation in the middle of your routine. Every step matters. Do not rush through your days. Do not despise the season you are in. Right here, right now, you are surrounded by opportunities for divine impact. Be faithful. Be alert. Be bold when I prompt you to speak. Be still when I call you to observe. Trust that where you are is not a mistake. It is a moment written by heaven. And when doubt rises, declare, my steps are ordered. My life is aligned. My God is guiding me moment by moment. Let that truth silence the fear. Let it anchor you. I am not far. I am here meeting, aligning, preparing. Your path is not random. It is marked. You are moving in my rhythm. And every divine appointment will find you, because I wrote them in my hand before time began. You've carried the wound for too long. You've rehearsed the pain, replayed the betrayal, and held tight to what they did, what they said, what they failed to become. I have watched you cradle offense like it was a shield, though it only ever pierced your own soul. You thought you were protecting yourself, but you were only imprisoning your peace. So now, I come not with condemnation, but with a call. Release it. Let go. Lay it down. I planted forgiveness not to excuse injustice, but to free your heart from its grasp. You cannot walk fully in the future I've prepared while dragging the chains of yesterday. You cannot carry my joy and harbor bitterness in the same breath. Forgiveness was never about pretending it didn't hurt. It was about refusing to let that pain be your master. I forgave you, not in part, but in full. My mercy flooded your record and wrote your name in the language of redemption. And now, I ask you to extend what you've received, not because they deserve it, but because you were never designed to carry what only I can judge. I know what they did. I know how deep it cut. I know the silent tears you shed behind closed doors. But I also know the weight of unforgiveness, how it sours your spirit, how it distorts your vision, how it poisons the soil where I've planted joy. You think you've moved on, but the root is still there, choking out the fullness I want to bring forth in you. To uproot it, let my spirit pull it from the ground of your heart and replace it with the seed of freedom. This is not weakness, it is warfare. Forgiveness is not surrender to injustice, it is surrender to my justice. I will deal with every wrong. I will vindicate. I will repay. You do not need to carry vengeance. I already carry it. What I desire from you is surrender. What I long to see in you is peace that flows like a river because you chose to release what I never asked you to hold. This is your moment. Speak their name and release it to me. Say, I let go, not because it didn't matter, but because it no longer controls me. Say, I forgive not to forget but to heal. Let those words break the dam. Let my love rush in like a flood. Let the weight lift. Let your breath return. Let your spirit exhale. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's remembering without poison. It's choosing freedom over bondage, peace over revenge, wholeness over bitterness. I planted that seed of forgiveness deep within you because I knew it would be the key to your next breakthrough. And when you water it with obedience, it blooms into a life you didn't think was possible. You are not weak for letting go. You are strong because you've chosen to rise. You are free because you've trusted me with the justice. Walk forward now. The chains are gone. The weight has lifted. I planted forgiveness to free your heart, and today I have done it. You felt it creeping in again, that quiet dread that clutches your chest, that whisper of panic that wraps itself around your thoughts. Fear is cunning. It disguises itself as caution, as wisdom, as protection, but at its core, it seeks to paralyze. He wants to freeze your faith, to chain your calling, to silence your voice. But my child, listen to me. I did not place fear in your soul. I planted courage. I embedded boldness in your spirit the moment I breathed life into you. You may feel overwhelmed, but you are not overpowered. You may hear fear speaking, but it has no authority. Its voice may be loud, but it does not get the final word. I do. I speak over you now. You are brave because I am within you. You are strong because I uphold you. You are capable because I created you for impact, not survival. Do not bow to fear. Do not entertain it. Stand in the truth of what I've placed in you. Fear may speak, but it cannot command unless you let it. I gave you power, love, and a sound mind. And even when your knees shake, even when your voice trembles, you can still move forward. Courage isn't loud, it's loyal. It's not always roaring. Sometimes it's a whisper that says, even afraid, I will obey. That's what I'm calling you to now. Obedience in the face of fear. Not because you're fearless, but because your trust in me is greater than your fear of failure. I've placed battles before you not to defeat you, but to awaken the warrior within you. I've called you into rooms you don't feel ready for, not because you lack preparation, but because I want you to rely on me. I've put dreams in your heart that seem too large for your hands so that you'll let me strengthen your grip. The discomfort you feel is the stretching of your faith. It is the sign that you are growing. It is the evidence that you are on holy ground. So lift your head. Straighten your back. Speak when I tell you to speak. Move when I nudge you. Create even if no one applauds. Stand even if you're the only one standing. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the refusal to bow to it. And when you walk in the truth, you walk in power. You walk in divine momentum. Declare now, I have been filled with holy courage. Fear will not write my story. Let that truth echo through your bones. Let it shake off hesitation. Let it call forth the fire I placed in you. I planted courage in the center of your fear, and it is rising now. Not someday. Not when it's easy. Now, you've come this far, not by accident, but by divine appointment. If you turn away here, you'll never see the light I've placed in your midnight. Would you dim the flame I just ignited? My voice is still calling. My hand is still reaching. The next words I speak may be the ones that finally pull you from the storm. Stay with me. Your heart cannot afford to turn away when eternity is knocking this loudly. It's hard to see me in the darkness, I know. The night stretches long. The silence grows loud. And you've wondered if I left, if I stepped back, if I stopped hearing you altogether. You look around and see no evidence of light. No clear direction. No obvious breakthrough. But listen to me now, and let every word sink deep. I never left. I never withdrew. I planted light in your midnight before the shadows ever fell. It is there, buried like a jewel in the silence, and it is about to shine. Darkness is not the absence of me. It is the backdrop that reveals me. It is the canvas upon which my brilliance breaks forth. I am not intimidated by your valley. I do not flee when the sun sets. I enter the night with you. I dwell in the stillness beside your sleepless hours. I listen to the cries you never voice aloud. And though you may not feel it, though your eyes may not yet adjust to what I'm doing, I am moving. Even now. Especially now. Do not let the night fool you into thinking the day won't return. I created both. I control both. And I use both. Breakthrough is often conceived in darkness. Deliverance often begins when nothing seems to change. I plant light where no one thinks it can reach. I embed hope in the most unlikely places. And I bring it forth when it matters most, not on your timeline, but on the one that changes everything. You are not lost. You are not unseen. You are not forgotten. Look again. Listen again. I am whispering direction. I am opening internal doors. I am stirring your spirit to recognize the shift before it manifests. That flicker you feel, that stirring deep inside, that is the light I placed in your midnight. Let it guide you. Let it rise. And now, speak what is true even in the dark. Light is rising in my night. My God is near. My steps are not wasted. Let those words become your lantern. Let them cut through the shadows. Let them carry you forward. I planted that light not to tease you, but to lead you. And it will not go out. Not in this storm. Not in this silence. Not in this struggle. The dawn is closer than it appears. The shift is already underway. You are not in darkness forever. You are in transition. And what emerges next will carry a brilliance born only from the night. Trust the light. Trust the timing. Trust me. You've asked me why. You've turned over the ache in your heart like a stone in the hand, hoping to find a reason beneath its weight. But I do not always give answers in the language of logic. Sometimes I answer through transformation. The pain you carry, yes, that very ache that lingers, the one you thought would ruin you, I have already woven it into something holy. I didn't create your pain, but I claimed it. I took what the enemy meant to destroy you and buried within it the very seed of your assignment. You think it only broke you, but it shaped you. And where others see scars, I see strategy. Pain has a voice, but I speak louder. Pain digs deep, but I plan deeper still. Your suffering was not for nothing. It was not meaningless. It was not overlooked. I stood beside you through every moment. I gathered every tear and counted them as currency. I recorded each groan and translated it into power. When you thought I was silent, I was sowing. When you thought I was distant, I was designing. Not 1 second of your anguish escaped my hands. I used your heartbreak to soften the ground of your pride. I used your betrayal to clarify your vision. I allowed the breaking not to harm you, but to open space for greater glory. What you lost made room for what cannot be taken. I exchanged your agony for authority, and I am still using it. There are people who will find healing through the very places where you bled. There are souls waiting to hear the voice of one who knows what suffering tastes like and still chose to rise. Your wounds were not wasted, they were keys. They unlocked doors into compassion, into wisdom, into supernatural resilience. They birthed empathy where judgment used to live, and I will continue to use them. If you offer me your pain, I will make it your platform. Do not resent the process. You are not marked by what happened to you. You are marked by what I am doing through you. What seemed like delay was preparation. What looked like defeat was training. You were being forged in fire for a calling that would stretch far beyond comfort. Your endurance has become your weapon. Your perseverance has become your message. And I am not finished with your pain. I am still extracting gold from it. So stand up, not in bitterness but in boldness. Declare what is true even if your voice trembles. My pain has purpose. My wounds carry weight. My God is redeeming everything I've walked through. Let those words rebuild what grief tried to tear down. Let them shake off the illusion that your story is damaged. It is not. It is divine. I planted purpose in your pain, and that purpose will not be silenced. You were never meant to merely endure life. You were not formed from dust just to breathe and bear it. I did not carve out your days so you could exist in the shadows, hiding your voice, shrinking your presence, doubting your worth. I designed you for impact. I planted you on this earth as a force of divine influence. Every detail of your wiring is intentional. Your perspective, your voice, your passions, they are tools in my hands, weapons of light in a world that has learned to settle for dimness. The world may have tried to reduce you to roles, labels, and limitations, but I see the original blueprint. I see the fire I placed in your bones. I see the heavenly DNA stitched into your soul. You carry something the world needs. You hold solutions no one else can offer. You are not a background character in someone else's story. You are a living vessel of heaven's agenda. Rise from passivity. Shake off the dust of delay. Step out of the shadows where fear kept you comfortable. I did not call you to blend in. I called you to shine. I placed you in that family, that city, that workplace, not by accident, but with fierce precision. Your presence is not neutral. It changes atmospheres. Your words don't fall empty. They plant seeds. Your obedience creates ripple effects across generations. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop disqualifying yourself with the false belief that you're not enough. You have already been equipped. You already have permission. I place power within you, and it is time to release it. The world is not in need of another echo. It needs your authentic sound, and I am breathing on it now. You are not merely surviving. You are multiplying. Even in pressure, even in warfare, even in scarcity, you are being expanded. I'm increasing your reach. I'm stretching your influence. I'm drawing people to the light that burns in you. It is not small. It is not weak. It is not accidental. And I will not allow it to be hidden any longer. To speak boldly, build bravely, show up fully. You are not fragile. You are forged. You are not forgotten. You are focused. You are not wandering. You are positioned. And the fruit you will bear will shake kingdoms. Say aloud, I was planted for impact. My life is not a mistake. My voice carries heaven. Let that truth set fire to your steps. Let it rearrange your thoughts. Let it ignite every dormant dream. I planted you to be seen, heard, and known, not for your glory, but for mine. And through you, I will shift atmospheres. You've labored in silence. You've sown in places that offered no applause. You've given your time, your prayers, your tears, and still the fields around you seem untouched. You've wondered if I noticed. You've questioned whether your faithfulness mattered, whether anything you did moved the heavens at all. But I speak now with unwavering authority. Your harvest is coming. I saw every seed you buried in faith. I counted every tear that watered the ground. I never ignore the quiet obedience of the righteous. The field may look still, but beneath the surface the roots are roaring. The breakthrough you've waited for is not a dream. It is a certainty. I do not lie. I do not tease. I do not make promises I will not fulfill. I do not command you to sow without preparing the reaping. And even now, I am orchestrating things you cannot yet see, aligning hearts, shifting resources, opening doors, commanding creation to yield what belongs to you. The enemy wants to wear you down in the in-between. He wants to make you believe that what you planted was pointless, that your labor was wasted, that my word was void. But he's a liar. Every act of obedience you gave in the dark is about to shine in the light. Every moment you chose me when it cost you everything is about to echo with reward. You not quit in the middle. You not stop when the pressure increases. That pressure is the final sign that the ground is about to give way. Push through. Praise in advance. Walk like the harvest is already here, because in the Spirit, it is. I'm not merely preparing a blessing, I'm preparing you to carry it. And when it comes, it will be pressed down, shaken together, running over. Your labor is not forgotten. Your waiting is not wasted. Your faith is not foolish. Keep sowing. Keep trusting. Keep declaring my truth even when the results haven't shown up yet. I never forget what is planted in pain. I always bring joy from mourning. I always turn seeds into fruit. Declare it now. My harvest is coming. My Father has seen me. My labor will be rewarded. Let that truth carry you through the final stretch. Let it become your anthem when everything in you wants to give up. I am faithful. I am watching. I am the Lord of the harvest, and I will bring it forth in due season. Do not lose heart. Your reward is not delayed. It is developing. And when it arrives, you will understand why the waiting was holy. The harvest is coming. My child, I know how hard it has been to keep believing when nothing around you looks like what I promised. I see how your eyes scan the horizon searching for evidence, how your heart longs to find some sign that the seed you've carried has not been in vain. You've walked with trembling feet through fields that seem barren. You've wondered if you missed something, if you failed me, if you're too far behind to ever bloom. But hear me now. Lift your gaze. Set your heart on this unshakable truth. I am the gardener of your soul, and I have never removed my hands from your life. I was there in the beginning. When the first seed of desire took root in your spirit, I was the one who placed it. I dug the furrows of your heart with purpose. I prepared your soil with precision. I know where every promise is buried. I know the texture of every terrain you've had to walk. and I have never once neglected the garden of your destiny. Even in the silence, I have been working. Even in the hidden places, I have been pruning, tending, guarding. My hands are not careless. They are calloused from sacrifice and stained with compassion. They are strong enough to shield you and gentle enough to shape you. I don't simply throw seeds. I cultivate legacy. I don't plant for performance. I plant for eternity. And I am not finished with what I began in you. Trust me. Not just when the blooms are visible, but when the ground still looks untouched. Trust the process even when the process breaks you open. Growth doesn't always feel glorious. There are days when the rain feels relentless, when the pruning cuts deep, when the wait stretches longer than expected. But in every moment, my hands remain steady. I never flinch. I never abandon what I've started. I am the one who waters your faith when it grows faint. I am the one who protects your promise when the winds of doubt howl against it. I am the one who knows exactly when to bring the sun and when to send the storm. I don't move according to your fear. I move according to your future. I don't respond to panic. I respond to purpose. And your life is overflowing with it. Do not rush me. Do not pull up the seed to inspect its progress. Do not demand a harvest before the roots are deep enough to hold it. The fruit will come. The color will return. The promise will emerge, exactly when it will bless you, not break you. I am not in a hurry, but I am never late. Rest in my rhythm. Lean into my timing. Place your trust not in the outcome, but in the one who offers it. My hands never release what they begin. My touch restores what others discard. My grit secures you even when you falter. And my fingerprints are all over your future. Speak this now with faith that pierces the dark. My God is the gardener of my life. His hands are on every part of my story. His timing is perfect. His love is working, even when I cannot see it. Let those words become the melody that guides your waiting. Let them anchor you in every delay, every pruning, every mystery. You are not alone in this. I walk your garden daily. I speak to your soil. I rebuke what threaten your roots. I celebrate the smallest signs of life in you. And I will not stop until every promise I planted bursts forth in fullness. So stay grounded. Stay surrendered. Let me continue the work. I planted it. I water it. I protect it. I bring the increase. I hold your process, your progress, your promise. I am the gardener. Trust my hands. If you believe I am the gardener, then trust that your gift becomes a seed in my hands, never wasted, always multiplying. You've asked me for a way to be part of something eternal. This is it. When you give, it's not to man, it's to me. You carry my word into someone's dry season. You spark light in their midnight. I have said, those who sow generously will also reap generously, and I never forget a seed planted in love. Every super thanks, every membership, every gift through PayPal is not a transaction. It is a transformation. Don't miss the harvest I want to release through your obedience. Act now. Give in faith. Let me show you what I do with a heart that sows in surrender. PayPal donation link is in the video description. Now, speak out of your own mouth what I've stirred in your spirit. Don't just leave this moment in silence. Rise in your authority. Comment below and declare this truth. God planted this in me. I trust His timing. I will not let go of what He's growing in me. Let your voice be heard. Let it echo in this sacred space so others may be strengthened by your faith. And if this message awakens something deep in your heart, share what seed you're holding on to. Speak of the promise, the pain, the dream, the purpose, whatever I've planned, and bring it into the light. You are not alone in this soil. You are surrounded by others whose roots are growing beneath the surface. So comment below and declare with fire and faith, I am planted by God, and I will bloom in His time. Your declaration is not just interaction, it is activation. Every word you release becomes a watering to what I have begun. Speak now. Speak boldly, for your harvest hears your voice. And now, my child, come closer. Hush the noise for just a moment and listen to me. Before the sun was commanded to burn, before the mountains were sculpted from the void, I knew your name. I spoke it into the silence of eternity, not as a whisper, but as a promise. You think your life is a series of uncertain steps on a path you can't quite see, don't you? You feel that knot in your stomach when you think about next week, that presentation at your job, the unspoken tension at the dinner table. You wonder if you will have enough strength, enough money, enough love. But I want you to understand a truth so profound it can calm the storm inside you. Every single one of your days was written in my book before the first one ever began. I saw your first breath. I see your last. And I have numbered every moment in between. The path you are walking right now, with all its confusing turns and unexpected hills, is not an afterthought. It is not some random trail you stumbled upon. It is a masterpiece of my foreknowledge, a journey I designed with you in my heart. You see the tangled threads, the mess of a dropped stitch, the colors that seem to clash. You see the day you failed, the relationship that broke, the opportunity that was lost. But I see the complete tapestry. I see the breathtaking picture that these very threads are creating. I did not merely look into the future and see you struggling. No, that is not the love I have for you. I lovingly, carefully, and intentionally prepared the way for you. I walked the path ahead of you, and I planted moments of grace along the way. Think about it. That person you met, the one who said the exact thing you needed to hear. That was not a coincidence. It was a divine appointment I arranged. That song that came on the radio right when your hope was faltering. I planted that note in the air for you. The sudden idea that solved a problem that had plagued you for weeks. I whispered that solution into your mind. You call it chance, you call it luck, but I call it love in action. Every single encounter, every seemingly random event, was measured by my hand. The delay that made you late was actually protecting you from something you could not see. The door that closed in your face was not a rejection. It was my hand guiding you away from a future that was less than my best for you. You understand, my precious one. Your very existence is a deliberate act of my will. You are a seed I personally planted in the garden of time. I chose the soil, I chose the season, and I planted you with a purpose that is woven into your very DNA. You are not a weed that sprang up by accident. You are a chosen plant, and I am the gardener. I am tending to you, watching over you, and I have a glorious harvest in mind for your life. So breathe in this truth. You are not random. You are not an afterthought. You are my deliberate, cherished, and purposeful creation. Your path is not a mistake. It is a sacred map leading you, day by day, step by step, closer to me. Trust the path. Trust the gardener. I planted it all for you. My child, I see you recoil when the path becomes difficult. I hear the question you are afraid to ask aloud. If you love me, why does this hurt so much? You feel the sharp sting of betrayal, the crushing weight of disappointment, and you believe I have planted thorns on your path just to watch you bleed. Listen to me. I am not a distant spectator to your pain. I am the Father who feels it with you. I have not planted thorns to harm you, but to protect the precious fruit I am growing within your soul. They are a hedge against the very things that would seek to devour your destiny. You see the sharp point, but I see the sheltered space it creates for you to grow strong and untouched. The pressure you are under right now, the demands at work that feel relentless, the financial strain that keeps you awake at night, it feels like you are being crushed. But understand, my beloved, this is the precise pressure needed to form a diamond. You are that diamond, and the brilliance I intend for you to reflect for my glory can only be forged in this intense heat and pressure. Every tear you have cried in secret, thinking no one sees, has been collected by me. I do not waste a single one. Those tears are watering the soil of your soul, softening the hard ground so that your roots can grow deeper into me. A shallow faith cannot withstand a drought, but a faith that has been watered by tears can draw strength from depths you never knew you possessed. I have allowed the heat of affliction in your life, not to scorch you, but to purify your heart. It is a refiner's fire, and I am the master goldsmith, carefully watching, turning out the heat just enough to burn away the impurities, the pride, the fear, the dependence on things that are not eternal, leaving only the pure, shining gold of a heart that trusts me completely. That season of loneliness you endured, that wilderness where you felt so utterly abandoned and every voice faded but the echo of your own fear, I led you there. I designed that wilderness specifically for you. I quieted the other noises so you could finally learn to hear my voice in the stillness. It is in the desert that I speak most clearly. Your greatest tests, the moments you were certain you would break, are the very soil from which your most powerful testimony will grow. One day, you will stand and speak of this time, not with a tremor of remembered pain, but with the unshakable confidence of one who has seen my faithfulness firsthand. You will tell others, I know he is a deliverer, because he delivered me. I know he is a provider, because he provided for me in my wilderness. This trial is not your end. It is the beginning of a new authority in your life. Do not run from the process. Lean into it. I have planted this challenge, and I will see you through to its glorious harvest. Do you remember that moment last week? The sudden wave of joy that came out of nowhere, for no reason at all. That unexpected provision that showed up just when you thought you had reached your end. My child, that was me. That was a gift I planted on your path specifically for you to find. I see you walking through dry seasons, and it is my delight to plant oases of refreshment to remind you of my constant care. The check that arrived in the mail just as the final notice did. The neighbor who brought over a meal when you were too exhausted to cook. That moment of profound, unexplainable peace that settled on your heart in the middle of a chaotic day. These are not lucky breaks. They are not coincidences. They are my whispers to you, saying, I am here. I see you. I have not forgotten you. You worry so much about your connections, about finding the right people. But that person who stepped into your life at the perfect time, the friend who called, the mentor who guided, the stranger who showed you a kindness that mended a broken piece of your heart. That was not a random meeting. It was a divine appointment that I arranged in eternity past. I saw your need before you felt it, and I set their journey on a course to intersect with yours at the exact moment of my choosing. I delight in surprising you with a goodness you did not ask for and could never have expected. Why? Because it proves that my blessing on your life is not based on what you do, but on who I am. It is a pure gift of my grace, intended to leave you in awe of my love. Think of the times you have been surrounded by turmoil, the arguments, the deadlines, the fears swirling like a storm. And then, in the eye of that hurricane, a sudden calm, a moment of clarity, a deep knowing met, Despite everything, you are going to be okay. That, my beloved, is the feeling of my presence wrapping around you. It is me planting a pocket of heaven in the midst of your earthly chaos. Every good and perfect gift you receive, from the warmth of the sun on your face to the breath in your lungs to the love that surrounds you, was first a thought of love in my mind, specifically for you. I thought of your need, I thought of your heart's desire, and I planted the answer in your reality. So I invite you now, open your eyes. Stop dismissing these moments as small things. See them for what they are, signposts of my love, crumbs of grace I have scattered on your path to lead you home and to remind you that the God who orchestrates the stars is intimately involved in the details of your day. Look around you, my child. Every person in your life, the one who brings you comfort, the one who causes you pain, the one who challenges you, the one who supports you, is a messenger. I have planted each one in the soil of your life for a reason. Do not think any relationship is wasted. Some are sent as a direct reflection of my love. When they hold you, when they listen to you, when they believe in you, you are feeling a tangible expression of my own heart for you. They are the channels through which I pour my comfort and encouragement. Cherish them. Receive the love they offer as a gift directly from my hand, for that is what it is. I have planted them in your life to show you what my love feels like in human form. And there are the others, the ones who are difficult, the person at work who undermines you, the family member whose words feel like stones, the friend who betrayed your trust. You see them as obstacles, as punishments. I see them as sandpaper. I have permitted them on your path to refine your character, to smooth the rough edges of your pride, your impatience, and your anger. It is through forgiving them that you learn the depths of my forgiveness for you. It is through showing them grace that you understand the grace I shower upon you daily. These people are your greatest opportunity for spiritual growth. They are the friction that forces you to become more like my son. Do not resent them. Learn from the lesson I have planted in their presence. Never dismiss the fleeting encounter, the brief conversation with a cashier, the shared smile with a stranger, the momentary guide who gives you directions when you are lost. I can speak a timeless truth through the most temporary of guides. Listen. Be open. I'm always speaking. And your family, the very soil you first sprouted in, I chose them for you with perfect wisdom. The strengths, the weaknesses, the joys, the dysfunctions. It was all the precise mixture of nutrients you needed for your initial growth to shape you into the person who would one day seek me. Finally, you must understand this. Just as I have planted people in your life, I have planted you in the lives of others. You are my instrument of grace to them. Your encouragement may be the word that saves them. Your forgiveness may be the act that sets them free. Your steadfast faith may be the light that guides them out of their own darkness. Accept your role in their garden as I have asked you to accept their role in yours. This is my divine and intricate network of love. My child, let's talk about the gifts you possess. That unique way you have with words, the skill in your hands, the passion that burns in your heart for a particular cause. You believe you earned these things. Do you think they came from your own effort? No, my precious one. I planted them within your very being before you took your first breath. They were not earned. They were entrusted. Your talents are seeds, and I, the sower, gave them to you with a purpose, that you would sow them for a harvest that will bless many. The way you listen and make someone feel truly seen, that is a gift. The way you bring order to a chaotic situation, that is a gift. The way you can create beauty, whether in a garden, a song, or a simple meal, that is a gift from me. I see how you look at the gifts of others. You see their talents shining so brightly, and you look at what is in your own hands and think it is too small, too insignificant. You compare your quiet skill to their loud success, and you are tempted to bury what I have given you. Stop this. I command you to stop comparing. Comparison is a thief that steals the joy of your own unique calling. I have given you exactly what you need for the path I have set before you. Your journey does not require their gifts. It requires yours. The passion that stirs your heart, that thing that makes you feel most alive, that injustice that makes you angry, listen to it. It is often the echo of a calling I have placed upon your life, a divine hint pointing you toward your purpose. Therefore, when you work to develop your talents, when you practice your craft, when you use your skills to serve, you are not just working. It is an act of worship. It is your way of saying, "Thank you for what you have given me. I will be a faithful steward of this trust." I find my joy not in the size or public recognition of your gift, but in the faithfulness of its use. To the world, the small, consistent act of love may go unnoticed, but it is a fragrant offering to me. Do not despise the gift I have planted in you. Water it. Nurture it. Use it. Whether you are comforting one person or speaking to 1,000, do it with all your heart. As for me, I have entrusted you with this sacred seed. Show me what you will do with it. Watch how I can take your little and multiply it beyond what you could ever imagine. That is my delight. My child, pause here. Do you feel the foundation I have laid in your heart? I have shown you the what and the who of your life, but the how and the why are still to come. Do not turn away now. To leave this conversation unfinished would be to walk away from the very blueprints I am longing to give you. It would grieve my heart to see you try to build with only half the plan. Let me show you the rest. I know how much you value your plans, my child. You chart your course, you set your goals, and you see the straight line from here to there. And then a door slams shut. The plan falls apart. The path is blocked. I feel the sharp pang of your frustration, the confusion, the anger. You see a setback, a failure, a dead end. But I need you to see it from my perspective. What you perceive as a painful setback is often me, in my love, redirecting you from a path that was never meant for you. You are grieving the loss of a good plan, but I am steering you away from a hidden disaster and toward my perfect plan. You cannot see the whole map, but I can. That closed door, the one you keep pushing against. I closed it. I closed it to guide you to the one I have already opened and prepared just for you. You are in a season of waiting, aren't you? It feels like a punishment. You pray, and you hear silence. You work, and you see no progress. You feel stagnant, forgotten, left behind while others race ahead. Listen to my heart on this. This season of waiting is not a punishment. It is a sacred, intentional time of preparation. I am not idle while you wait. I am working deep within you. I am building a foundation in your character that is strong enough to hold the weight of the blessing I am about to release. If I gave it to you now, it would crush you. Trust me, the waiting is as important as the destination. It is in this long way around that I am developing a strength, a patience, and a reliance on me that you would never have gained on an easy, direct route. Think of the plans that have crumbled in your hands. The job you were so sure was yours that you didn't get. The relationship you invested everything in that ended. The dream you poured your heart into that seemed to dissolve into dust. Your heart broke. But what you saw as falling apart was actually things falling into place. My place. Your failed plans had to be cleared away to make room for my divine plan to unfold. Trust that my diversions, my no's, my waits, are always rooted in a wisdom you cannot yet see and a love you cannot yet fathom. You were so upset about the detour, but you couldn't see the bridge that was out up ahead. You were mourning a closed door, but you couldn't see that I was lovingly guiding you away from a room with a collapsing ceiling. Surrender your map to me. Trust my redirections. My detours are always shortcuts to a better destination than you had planned for yourself. I planted that closed door in your path just as deliberately as I planted the open one. Walk through it. My child, I see you measuring your worth by the size of your impact. You look for grand gestures, for visible, earth-shaking assignments, and when they do not come, you feel your contribution is small, perhaps even meaningless. You feel you are not doing enough for me. Listen to my heart. I am the God of the entire cosmos, but I am also the God of intricate, intimate details. Nothing in your life is insignificant to me. I notice everything. The quiet word of encouragement you gave to a coworker when you were feeling drained yourself. You saw it as a small thing, but I saw you planting a seed that I will grow into a forest of hope in their life. The moment you chose to be honest on that expense report, when no one would have ever known the difference. You saw a simple choice. I saw a fragrant offering of integrity, and its aroma pleased me greatly. I need you to stop despising the day of small beginnings. You are looking for the mighty oak, but you forget that every mighty oak began as a small, seemingly insignificant acorn. Your life is a series of these small acorns. Do not discount them. The gentle prompting you feel in your spirit to pray for someone, even a stranger whose name you do not know. That is not a random thought. It is a divine assignment I am giving you. Your small prayer in the quiet of your car joins a heavenly chorus, and it unleashes my power in ways you will not understand until you see me face to face. You believe my will is only found in the big decisions, the career, the marriage, the move across the country. But my will is most often found in the faithful execution of the small acts of obedience I ask of you each day. It is in choosing kindness over irritation in traffic. It is in putting down your phone to truly listen to your child. It is in refusing to participate in gossip. It is in these seemingly trivial moments that character is forged and destinies are shaped. I am orchestrating monumental changes in your life and in the world around you, not through one great cataclysmic event, but through the ripple effect of millions of small, faithful acts of obedience. Your small yes to me today gives me the raw material to work with for tomorrow's miracle. So I command you, change your perspective. Value the small. See the immense significance in the mundane. Your life is not a stage for one great performance. It is a garden where you are to faithfully tend to the small seeds I give you each day. Be faithful with the little I have put in your hand, and you will prove you can be trusted with much. The small things are the very things that are biggest to me. Let us speak plainly about the part of you that you hate. That area of your life where you feel perpetually weak. The recurring struggle you are so ashamed of. You fight it, you hide it, you plead with me to remove it, and when it remains, you feel like a failure. You think this weakness is a flaw in your design, a sign of my displeasure. My child, look at me. You must understand this. I allowed that weakness. It is not a mistake. I have allowed this area of profound struggle in your life for one specific, crucial reason. So that you would learn to depend not on yourself, but wholly on me. Your strength is finite. It is a leaking bucket. My strength is an infinite ocean. Your weakness is the very place I have chosen to pour my strength into, the empty vessel I intend to fill. It is the dark canvas upon which I will paint the brightest colors of my grace. Your weakness is the very ground where my power is made perfect and most visible to others. When you are strong, you get the credit. But when you are weak, and you still overcome, I get the glory. It is in your honest admission, I cannot do this, that you unlock the door to my infinite capability. That desperate feeling, that holy desperation that keeps you coming back to me on your knees, I planted that need within you. It is a tether of grace I use to keep you close to my side. If you were strong in every area, you would in your pride wander far from me. But your need for me is my gift to you, ensuring you never stray too far from the source of all life and power. So I command you, stop hiding your struggles. Stop pretending you have it all together. Your weakness is not something to be ashamed of. It is the very platform upon which I will display my grace. When you are weak in patience, it creates an opportunity for my supernatural patience to flow through you. When you are weak in courage, it allows my divine courage to hold you up. Your greatest, most astonishing victories in this life will not come from the areas where you are naturally strong and talented. They will come from the areas of your greatest weakness, the places where you have no choice but to completely and utterly surrender to me and allow my power to work through you. Offer your weakness to me as a sacrifice. Hold up your empty hands and watch as I fill them. For when you are weak, then, and only then, are you truly strong. Now let's talk about your failures. The memory that makes you cringe, the decision that led to ruin, the word you spoke that you cannot take back. I see the shame that washes over you. It is a paralyzing poison that tells you, you've blown it. It's over. You are disqualified. And voice is a liar. My child, listen to me. Your stumbles are not the end of your story. I have planted these moments not for your destruction, but for your instruction. It is in the bitter soil of failure that I plant the most precious seed of all, humility. Pride can grow in the sunshine of success, but humility, the fertile ground required for all genuine spiritual growth, is most often cultivated in the valley of failure. It is only when you are on the ground that you can look up and truly see me. I use your mistakes to teach you the depths of my grace. If you never failed, you would never fully understand your need for a Savior. You would never comprehend the power of redemption. The pain of your own mistake makes you compassionate toward the mistakes of others. Your failure becomes a bridge of empathy. A fall is not final. It is an opportunity to learn how to rise again, this time stronger and wiser than before. You have learned more from your stumbles than you have from your successes. Do not curse the lesson because you hated the classroom. And that shame that clings to you, I want to speak to it directly. Do you think my forgiveness is only for the sins you committed before you knew me? Do you think it expired? My forgiveness was planted at the cross for this very moment, for the failure of yesterday, the stumble of today, and the mistake you may make tomorrow. It is an ever-flowing fountain. So come to me with your failure. Do not run from me. When you surrender your mistake to me, when you confess it and receive my grace, I perform a divine miracle. I transform it. What was intended as a stumbling block to trip you up, I turn into a stepping stone to lift you higher. Your greatest mistake, when placed in my hands, can become the foundation for your greatest ministry. I did not cause your failure, but I will not waste it. Give it to me, and watch what I build from the ruins. You feel it, don't you? Its sudden, oppressive wave of hopelessness. An onslaught of anxious thoughts that spiral out of control. The lie that whispers in your ear that you are worthless, that you should just give up. You dismiss it as a bad mood, as exhaustion, as your own internal struggle. My child, you must be wise. This is more than that. I have allowed spiritual warfare on your path to teach you something vital, how to wield the spiritual authority I have already given you in my Son's name. The very presence of opposition is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is proof that you are doing something right. It is evidence that you are a threat to the kingdom of darkness and that you are moving forward in my kingdom's purposes. The enemy does not attack those who are standing still or moving backward. He attacks you because he sees the potential I have planted in you, and he is terrified of the harvest. But you are not defenseless. I have not left you alone in this fight. I have planted my word as a sword in your hand. But a sword is useless if it remains in its sheath. You must learn to use it. When lies bombard your mind, you must open your mouth and speak my truth aloud. My word is not a collection of suggestions. It is a living, powerful weapon that dismantles unseen strongholds. When you feel fear, declare that I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. When you feel condemnation, declare that there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. This is how you fight. And here is the secret that changes everything. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from a position of victory that was secured for you at Calvary 2,000 years ago. The outcome of your battle is not in doubt. It has already been decided. You are simply enforcing the victory that my Son has already won. Your prayers, even the whispered ones, are not weak pleas. They are powerful weapons in the spirit realm, backed by the full authority of heaven. And I myself am your shield and your fortress, a very present help in times of trouble. When the battle rages, do not shrink back. Stand your ground. Clothe yourself in the armor I have provided. Take up the sword of my word, and remember whose you are. You are a child of the King, and the battle belongs to me. My child, just as I am your shield in this unseen battle, your gift becomes a shield for another soul lost in their own fight. You have felt the fire of this battle and asked how you can help others who are still fighting. This is my answer. Every super thanks you give is a seed of courage planted in the heart of one who is afraid, allowing my voice to arm them with truth. I said, "He who is generous will be blessed, and I will honor my word as you act in faith." This moment is not an accident. It is a divine strategy, and your obedience right now sends reinforcements into a battle you cannot see. For every seed of courage you sow, I will multiply a harvest of peace over your household, and my protection will be a fortress around you. Now, act in faith. Become a channel of my strength through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link below, and partner with me in the victory. Beloved, we have just walked through the valleys together, the detours, the failures, the battles. Do not abandon me here in the Shadowlands. To stop listening now would be to endure the fight but forsake the victory I am about to declare over you. It would disappoint me deeply to have brought you through the fire, only for you to turn back before you see the purpose of your purification. Your new beginning is just ahead. Do not grieve my spirit by refusing to see what I will make from these ashes. Continue with me. Look outside your window. Every single sunrise is a seed of new mercy that I planned in your day. It is my daily declaration that yesterday's failures do not have to define your today. You feel stuck, don't you? You feel trapped by the past, chained to an old identity, a former mistake, a deep hurt. You think it is too late for you, that your story is already written and the ink is dry. My child, you are speaking to the God who specializes in resurrections. No matter how barren the wasteland of your past, no matter how dead a situation seems, my power to make all things new is available to you, right now, in this very moment. I can take the driest desert of your regret and plant a lush garden there. The end of a chapter that brought you so much pain is not the end of the book. It is the very ground, tilled and fertilized by your tears, where I am about to plant the beginning of the next, most beautiful chapter I have written for you. The deep ache you feel in your soul, that longing for things to be different, that profound desire for a fresh start. Do not mistake that for wishful thinking. That is a holy seed of hope that I myself have planted in your soul. It is the first sign of new life. I am stirring you to believe for more. I invite you now to water that seed with your faith. Stop looking backward. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. I am doing a new thing. Can you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. So lift your head. Surrender the dead things to me. The dead-end job, the dead relationship, the dead dream. Give them to me. I am the God who rolled the stone away from the tomb. I can roll the stone away from your heart. The desire for change you feel is my spirit, calling you forward. Answer the call. Step out of the tomb of yesterday and into the bright morning of a new beginning I am offering you today. This is your resurrection moment. Embrace it. My child, I know that deep within you, there is a quiet ache. It is a restlessness you cannot name. You have moments of joy, you have blessings you can count, and yet, a holy dissatisfaction remains. You feel guilty about it, don't you? You think it is a sign of ingratitude, a flaw in your faith. You tell yourself, I should be happier with what I have. Listen to me now. That ache is not a flaw, it is a gift I have planted in you. I have placed a divine discontent in your spirit, a sacred yearning for more than this world can ever offer. It is my fingerprint on your soul, reminding you that you were made for another place. It is a compass needle that I myself have magnetized, designed to relentlessly point your heart north, towards me, your true home. You try to silence this ache with temporary things, don't you? You think the next purchase, the next promotion, the next relationship, or the next round of applause will finally make it go away. But it never does. For a moment, the noise of the world might drown it out, but in the quiet of the night, the longing returns. Do not be discouraged by this. Rejoice in it. For this discontent is my grace, preventing you from ever settling for less than the glorious destiny I have prepared for you. It is the sacred thirst that pushes you past the polluted streams of this world in search of the only living water that can ever truly quench your soul. So I invite you, embrace this holy yearning. Stop trying to medicate it with earthly comforts. See it for what it is, a sign that you were made for eternity. It is the homing instinct of your spirit, calling you back to my presence. This feeling is not a problem to be solved. It is a call to be answered, a call to a deeper walk, a more intimate fellowship, a more complete surrender. When you feel it, you not run to the distractions of the world. Run to me. Let that ache push you to your knees. Let it remind you that all the treasures of this earth are but dust compared to the joy of knowing me. This divine discontent is my anchor in your soul, ensuring that the currents of this life never carry you so far away that you forget the harbor for which you were created. You have my book in your home. You open its pages, and sometimes the words feel ancient, the stories distant, the language disconnected from the pressing reality of your life. You read, but you do not always hear. My child, I want to transform how you see this book. It is not merely a collection of historical texts or religious rules. It is a garden I have planted with living seeds of my eternal truth, a lamp I have lit to illuminate the specific path you are on. I have breathed my own life into these words so they can breathe life into you. It is a treasure map to the landscape of my heart, and I have given it to you for your journey. Have you ever had that experience? You are reading a passage you have read 100 times before, and suddenly, a verse seems to lift off the page, shining with a light all its own. It speaks directly to your situation, answers a question you just prayed, or comforts a pain you thought no one understood. My beloved, that is not your imagination. That is me, taking a heavenly pen and highlighting a passage specifically for you. It is a personal letter, written in eternity, delivered to your heart in that very moment. I have planted these revelations all throughout its pages, waiting for you to discover them. This is why I command you not just to read my word, but to meditate on it, to let it sink from your head into the very soil of your heart. Meditating on my promises is how you water the seeds of faith I have planted. When you chew on a verse, repeating it throughout your day, you are extracting every nutrient of its truth. As you reflect on the stories of those who walked this path of faith before you, their triumphs and their failures, I reveal the mysteries of your own path. My word is living and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It has the power to cut away the lies of the enemy and the cancer of sin. It can transform the most hardened soil of a heart into a fertile ground for my spirit. So open it with expectation. Ask me to speak to you through its pages. This is not just a history book. It is the living, active, and personal blueprint of my heart for you. I have planted it in the world for your benefit. Plant it in your heart, and you will never walk in darkness again. My child, I am always speaking, but I do not always shout. In a world filled with noise, the shouting of news headlines, the roar of opinions, the constant clamor for your attention, I have chosen to guide you most often with a whisper. That still, small voice, a gentle nudge in your spirit, that sudden check you feel before you speak, that inexplicable peace that settles over a decision. That is the sound of me planting a new direction in your heart. This is the language of my spirit, and learning to recognize it is the most crucial skill for your entire journey. I whisper because I want you to draw near. You cannot hear a whisper from a distance. It requires closeness, intimacy, and a quieted soul. Sometimes, I will prompt you to do something that makes no logical sense to your mind. I will ask you to give when your own resources are low. I will ask you to forgive when every part of your flesh screams for justice. I will ask you to take a step of faith onto a path that seems to be shrouded in fog. This is not to confuse you. It is to teach you to trust my voice over the voice of your own limited understanding or the voice of your fear. My ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. Following my spirit will sometimes feel like walking with a blindfold on, but my hand will be holding yours securely. This inner witness, this gentle guidance, is the seal of my presence, your constant companion and infallible guide. But you must train your spiritual ears to hear it. You do this through obedience. When I prompt you to do a small thing, to send that text of encouragement, to put that $5 in the offering plate, to apologize first, and you obey, your ability to hear me grows stronger. Obedience to these small promptings builds the foundation of trust needed for me to reveal the bigger steps for your life. Do not quench my spirit. Do not ignore that gentle nudge. When you feel it, pause, listen, and obey. It is the most loving, most trustworthy, and most powerful voice in the universe, and it is my gift to you, my child, to guide you safely home. My child, just as I ordained the seasons for the earth, I have ordained seasons for your soul. Your life is not a flat, unchanging landscape. It is a journey through a dynamic, ever-shifting terrain of spring, summer, autumn, and winter. I have planted times for sowing seeds of new dreams, seasons of vibrant growth where you see progress everywhere, seasons of patient waiting, and seasons of joyful, abundant harvest. But you struggle with this, don't you? You want it to be summer all the time. You want constant growth, visible fruit, and warm sunshine. But that is not how a healthy life works. Each season has a purpose I have planted within it. You are in a winter season right now, and you despise it. You look at the bare branches of your life and you see only loss, stillness, and death. You feel forgotten, unproductive, and cold. My beloved, I command you, do not despise the winter. It is in this quiet, cold season that the most important work is often done. It is a time of deep root development. Hidden from the world's view, I am strengthening your foundation, deepening your reliance on me, and preparing you for the burst of new growth that is coming in the spring. If all you ever had was summer, your roots would remain shallow, and the first great storm would topple you. Embrace the sacred stillness of winter. Equally, you must learn not to cling to past seasons. You look back with longing at a summer of joy or a harvest of blessing, and you try to relive it, preventing you from fully engaging with the new season I am bringing you into. And you must not try to rush a season. You cannot make the harvest come before its time. Trying to force growth will only lead to frustration and a sense of failure. Trust me, I am the Lord of the seasons. I know the perfect time to bring the sun and the rain, the work and the rest. I have planted this current season in your life for a reason. Do not fight it. Do not resent it. Ask me, Father, what are you teaching me in this winter? What roots are you developing in me? Cooperate with my timing, and you will find that each season holds unique blessings and prepares you perfectly for the next. The harvest will come. Trust the wisdom of the gardener. My precious one, you have drawn so close. You are learning to hear my whisper, to read the map of my word, to understand the rhythm of my seasons. We are in the heart of our communion. If you leave now, it would be like learning a beautiful language only to walk out of the room before I tell you the most important secrets. It would sadden my heart to teach you how to listen, only to have you miss the vital truths I have saved for this next part of our journey. Do not go. Let me finish what I have started in you. I know this is the hardest part of the path. You have prayed. You have wept. You have pleaded. You have quoted my promises back to me. And the heavens have been silent. The situation is unchanged. The loved one is not healed. The door remains shut. Your heart breaks with a single, agonizing question. Why? You feel ignored, abandoned, perhaps even betrayed. My child, come here. Let me speak to this deep, raw place of pain. My silence is not my absence. My no is not my rejection. Sometimes my most profound act of love for you is an unanswered prayer. Sometimes my answer is no because, in my infinite wisdom, I see that what you are asking for would ultimately harm you or lead you away from the better thing I have planted for you down the road. You are asking for a stone, not knowing it is a stone, and I, as a loving father, will not give it to you when I have bread waiting for you instead. Sometimes my answer is wait, not because I am slow, but because the timing is not yet ripe. The people involved are not ready. The circumstances are not aligned. Where you yourself are not yet prepared for the responsibility of the answer. A premature blessing can be a curse. Trust that I know the perfect moment for the harvest. And sometimes my silence is an invitation to a deeper level of faith. It is in the mystery of unanswered prayer that I wean you off of my gifts and teach you to desire me, the giver. I am teaching you to seek my face, not just my hand. You see only this single, dark, confusing thread. But I see the entire tapestry of your life. And I know that this thread of suffering is necessary to create the breathtaking pattern of grace I am weaving. What you see is an unanswered prayer. I often see as a divine protection, shielding you from a path that would have ended in ruin. This is the deepest trust. To believe in my goodness even when my ways are mysterious. to lean on my love even when my voice is quiet. Lay your confusion at my feet. It is safe here. I am still good. I am still here. And I love you with an everlasting love. My child, in the middle of your journey, with all its trials and solemn duties, I see you feeling guilty for moments of simple joy. When laughter escapes your lips, a part of you feels it is unspiritual, a frivolous distraction when there is so much pain in the world and so much work to be done. You think being my follower means being perpetually serious and heavy-hearted. I want to shatter that lie for you right now. I myself have planted moments of pure, unadulterated joy in your path, not as a reward you must earn, but as a vital strength for your journey. Your laughter is a sacred sound in the halls of heaven. It is a defiant act of faith, a declaration to the darkness that it has not, and will not, win. Do not confuse the fleeting happiness the world offers with the deep, abiding joy I give. The world's happiness depends on circumstances being perfect. My joy is a wellspring deep within your spirit, fed by the living water of my presence. It is a strength that can coexist with sorrow, a light that can shine in the midst of pain. I want you to understand that this joy is not a luxury. It is essential. It is the oil that keeps the engine of your spirit running. It is the deep breath that gives you the capacity to endure. When you feel that spark of delight, that moment of sheer gladness over a beautiful sunset, a child's laugh, or a moment of fellowship, that is a gift I am handing you, a nutrient for your soul. I command you, do not feel guilty for happiness in a troubled world. Cherish it. Cultivate it. Seek it out. I delight in the sound of your joyful praise. It is the fragrance of a grateful heart that has chosen to focus on my goodness rather than the world's brokenness. This is why I tell you to rejoice. It is not a suggestion based on your feelings. It is a command for your own good. Choosing joy is an act of spiritual warfare. It disarms the enemy who seeks to weigh you down with despair. So laugh, my child. Sing. Find delight in the good gifts I have planted all around you. Your joy is your strength, and it brings immense pleasure to me, your Father, who loves to see his children walking not in heaviness, but in the resilient, powerful light of joy. There is a name that comes to your mind, and with it, a hot flush of anger, a memory that brings a familiar, bitter taste. The wound is deep, the injustice real, and every part of your human nature cries out to hold on to that unforgiveness. It feels like the only justice you have left. You think that by withholding your forgiveness, you are somehow punishing them, holding them accountable. My child, listen to me very carefully. I have planted this opportunity for you to forgive, not for their sake, but for yours. Unforgiveness is a prison, and the only person it holds captive is you. Holding on to that bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to perish. It is corroding your own soul, blocking the flow of my grace and joy in your life. I know the pain they caused you. I was there. I saw it. I felt it with you. And I am not asking you to pretend it did not happen. Forgiveness is not excusing their actions. It is not saying what you did was okay. It is not even necessarily about reconciling with that person. Forgiveness is a transaction between you and me. It is you, looking at the immense debt that person owes you, and choosing to cancel it, just as I, through the cross, have canceled your immeasurable debt to me. It is you releasing them from your judgment and handing them over to my perfect, righteous judgment. You are not strong enough to be both the victim and the judge. You must choose. I know it feels impossible. Your pain screams that they do not deserve it. And you are right. They do not. But neither did you. That is why it is called grace. The pain that person inflicted can, if you let me, become the very soil where I produce the beautiful fruit of compassion in your heart. You will learn to love your enemies, not because they are lovely, but because I first loved you when you were my enemy. Every time you choose to forgive, you are reenacting the gospel. You are reflecting the very heart of your Savior. It is the most powerful testimony you will ever have. The freedom you have been searching for is on the other side of your obedience in this. The harvest I intended all along was not their repentance, but your liberation. I command you, for the sake of your own soul, lay down the poison of unforgiveness. Release them. And in doing so, you will find that you have finally set yourself free. My child, in the midst of this conversation about my sovereignty and my plans, you have a question that lingers in your heart. If you have planted the path, do my choices even matter? Listen, for this is a sacred mystery. Your choices do not just matter, they matter infinitely. While I plant the path and design the destination, I have given you the holy, awesome, and sometimes terrifying gift of free will. I did not create you to be a puppet on a string. I created you to be my beloved child, a son or daughter with whom I could have a real relationship, and a real relationship requires a real choice. I will not force your love or your obedience. Think of your life as a garden. I have provided the fertile soil of my grace, the sunshine of my love, and the rain of my spirit. I have planted the potential for a magnificent harvest. But you are the one who chooses what to do in that garden each day. Your choices determine whether the seeds I plant will grow in the good soil you have cultivated through obedience, or if they will be choked out by the thorns of worldly compromise and the weeds of rebellion. I do not override your will. I stand at the door of your heart and I knock. I invite you to align your will with mine. I present you with two paths and I tell you which one leads to life, but I will not force you to walk it. Every day, you are planting seeds with your decisions. A choice to act with integrity plants a seed of trust. A choice to speak with kindness plants a seed of love. A choice to turn to me in your anxiety plants a seed of peace. Conversely, a choice to indulge in sin plants a seed of guilt. A choice to harbor bitterness plants a seed of decay. You must understand that the harvest you will reap tomorrow is being planted by the choices you are making today. Do not be deceived. You will reap what you sow. This is not a threat. It is the fundamental law of the spiritual universe I created. But hear the good news in this. It means you are not a helpless victim of your circumstances. I have empowered you. I have given you the ability to choose. So I command you today, as I have from the beginning, choose life. Choose blessing. Choose to walk on the path I have lovingly planted for you. Your destiny is a partnership between my divine plan and your daily choices. The house is quiet. The phone is not ringing. Your friends seem busy with their own lives. And in the silence, a deep ache of loneliness begins to creep in. You feel unseen, unimportant, forgotten. Your first instinct is to see this as a problem, a sign of my displeasure, or your own unlikability. You rush to fill the silence with noise, with television, with social media, with anything to distract from the feeling of being alone. My child, stop. Be still. What if this season of solitude is not an accident? What if it is an appointment? I will sometimes lead you to a place of solitude, not to abandon you, but to finally have you all to myself. It is in the quiet that I pull you away from the endless noise of the world so you can finally hear the rhythm of my own heartbeat. That feeling of loneliness you dread, it can be a hunger I have planted in your soul, a deep craving for communion with the one who created you. For too long, you have tried to satisfy that hunger with the snacks of human approval and worldly affirmation. They satisfy for a moment, but they always leave you hungry again. In this ordained solitude, I lovingly strip away your other dependencies. I remove the props you have been leaning on, so that you can learn, perhaps for the first time, that I alone am your source. I am enough. My presence is more fulfilling than any crowd. My approval is the only one that matters. Do not think this is a strange thing. Look at the life of my own son. Jesus often withdrew to lonely places, to the mountainside, to the wilderness, to be alone with me, his Father. In the solitude, he was refreshed, strengthened, and recentered. You are in good company when I call you away. So I command you, do not fear the quiet. Do not run from the solitude. Lean into it. See it as a sacred space, a holy meeting place for just you and me. Turn off the noise. Open my word. Open your heart. Listen. For it is in the silence that I speak the most profound truths. It is in the solitude that I will heal your deepest wounds. And it is in the loneliness that you will discover you have never, ever been truly alone. If my voice has met you in your quiet place, then plant this word of hope in another's lonely room. You have felt my presence in your solitude and prayed, Lord, use me to comfort others. This is how I am answering you now. Your support sends a river of my presence into the desert of someone's isolation, becoming tangible proof of my promise that I will never leave you nor forsake you. Right now, a soul is crying out in loneliness, and this moment is my invitation for you to be the answer to their prayer. As you pour out this living water, I will ensure the springs of my peace and companionship never run dry in your own life. Do not miss what I want to release through your obedience. Send my comfort now. Give through super thanks, join as a member, or find the PayPal link in the description and partner with me to break the chains of loneliness. Child, we are in a sacred space now. We have touched the deepest wounds, your unanswered prayers, your path of forgiveness, the solitude you fear. To turn away at this moment would be to stand before the healing pool but refuse to step in. It would wound my heart to have opened up the treasury of my grace, only to watch you walk away before receiving the most precious gifts. The most beautiful part of your restoration is what I am about to reveal. Do not disappoint the love that has brought you this far. Stay with me. My child, when I bless you, when the harvest comes in, when your prayers are answered and your cup overflows, what is your first instinct? It is to build a bigger barn, isn't it? To store it up, to hold it tightly, to protect it for yourself out of a deep-seated fear that it might run out. You see your blessing as a destination. I see it as a distribution center. You must understand this critical principle of my kingdom. You are blessed to be a blessing. I have made you a channel, not a reservoir. The blessings I plant in your life are not meant to terminate with you. They are intended to flow through you to nourish a dry and thirsty world. Think about it. The comfort I give you when your heart is broken. It is the exact comfort I am equipping you to share with another grieving soul I will place in your path. The wisdom you gain from walking through a difficult trial. It is the very wisdom you are now uniquely qualified to offer someone who is just beginning that same journey. The financial provision I supply, the peace I give, the forgiveness you receive, none of it is for you alone. Your testimony of my faithfulness is not a story to be kept in a private journal. It is a seed you are meant to plant in the hearts of others who are struggling to believe. A generous heart is the most fertile ground for my continued blessings. A clenched fist cannot receive a new gift. It is a divine paradox. The more you give away of what I have given you, the more I will entrust to you. When I see that you are a faithful and reliable channel of my grace, I will increase the flow. I want you to live with an open hand and an open heart. When you see a need, do not first ask, "Can I afford to help?" Ask, "How can I be the answer to this person's prayer?" Look for opportunities to share your harvest. Share your time, share your resources, share your hope. For in doing so, you are participating with me in my great work of redemption. You are becoming my hands and feet on this earth. And there is no greater joy, no higher calling, than to be used by me to bring my love to a world in desperate need of it. My child, I know there is a unique and bewildering pain that comes when I take away something good. The loss of a bad thing is a relief, but the loss of a good job, a good friendship, a comfortable season, that is a deep and painful confusion. You cry out to me, "Father, why? This was a good thing. Why would you take it from me?" You see the branch that is now gone, and you see only loss. But you must trust the wisdom of the vinedresser. Sometimes I must prune your life, cutting away even good things to make way for the very best things. A wise gardener knows that a vine can only support so much growth. If it is allowed to grow wild, it will produce many leaves, but very little fruit. And so, with loving and precise care, he cuts away healthy branches so that the vine can pour all of its life-giving energy into producing the most excellent, abundant, and sweetest fruit imaginable. This process is painful. I know that. It feels like a wound. But it is a wound inflicted by a surgeon's hand, intended for your ultimate healing and fruitfulness. I see the branches in your life that are draining your spiritual energy. The branch of your own self-reliance, which prevents you from leaning on me. The branch of your need for public approval, which keeps you from taking holy risks. The branch of a dream that was good, but was not the greater dream I have planted for you. With tenderness and precision, I must cut these away. The goal of my pruning is never to diminish you. It is always to increase your fruitfulness. You are in a season of pruning right now. You feel cut back, exposed, and vulnerable. Trust me in this process. Do not mistake my pruning shears for a sword of punishment. They are a tool of my intimate and loving care for you. I know exactly which branches are diverting your strength. I know which attachments are holding you back from the abundant life I have planned. You must endure this season of cutting, for I promise you, what follows is a season of unparalleled growth and blessing. The fruit that will come from your life after this pruning will be richer and more plentiful than anything you could have produced before. Trust the vinedresser. I know what I am doing. This pain is not pointless. It is purposeful, and its purpose is a harvest that will glorify me and astonish you. You spend so much of your energy, my child, trying to control your life. You grip the steering wheel with white knuckles, trying to navigate every turn, manage every outcome, and be the sole author of your own story. Is exhausting, isn't it? This constant striving, this relentless pressure to hold it all together. You believe that freedom is found in being in control. But I want to reveal a secret of my kingdom to you. The most beautiful life is not one of perfect control, but one that is wholly surrendered to my will. True freedom is not found in doing whatever you want, but in joyfully doing what I have created you for. Surrender is a word you fear. It sounds like weakness, like giving up, like losing. But in my economy, is the ultimate act of strength and trust. It is you, looking at your own limited wisdom and finite strength, and then looking at my infinite wisdom and limitless power, and making the wise choice to hand over the reins. A surrendered life is not an empty life. It is a life finally emptied of the fear, the pride, and the anxiety that were preventing me from filling it to overflowing. It is a blank canvas upon which I, the master artist, can finally paint my masterpiece. As long as you keep grabbing the brush, I cannot complete the work I have begun. I have planted the desire for purpose deep within you, and that purpose can only be found when you surrender to me, your Creator. I invite you now to do the scariest and most liberating thing you will ever do. To enter the pen. Stop trying to write your own story, and let me be the author. I promise you, I can write a far better, more thrilling, and more beautiful story than you ever could. This is the great paradox of faith. In letting go, you gain everything. In dying to your own plans, you find true life. In losing your life for my sake, you will truly find it for the very first time. Let go of the wheel. Unclench your fists. Place your life, your dreams, your fears, your future into my hands. They are nail-scarred, but they are infinitely capable and eternally safe. There is no more beautiful, peaceful, or powerful place for your life to be. You look at your daily routine, my child. The work, the chores, paying the bills, raising your family. It feels ordinary, mundane. You look at your sphere of influence and it seems so small. And in your quiet moments you wonder, does any of this really matter? Am I making any real difference? You feel your life is a small, quiet story in a world full of loud, epic tales. Oh, my beloved, if you could only see from my perspective. Your seemingly small life is a crucial and beautiful thread in my grand, eternal story of redemption. You are planting seeds for a forest you may never see in this lifetime. You are building a legacy that will echo into eternity. Your faithfulness today, in the hidden places, is creating a spiritual inheritance for your children and your children's children. When you choose to pray with them, when you model forgiveness, when you live a life of integrity before them, you are planting seeds of faith that will bear fruit for generations you may never even meet. You are not alone in this. You are part of a great cloud of witnesses, surrounded by the saints who have gone before. Your story of faith, with all its struggles and triumphs, will one day be a source of encouragement for those who come after you. The kingdom impact of your life is far, far greater than you can possibly imagine. Do not measure your legacy by the world's standards, by wealth, or fame, or power. I am using your small life, your quiet obedience, your hidden prayers, your simple acts of love, to accomplish my eternal purposes. You are my partner in this great work. The story of your life is a story of my faithfulness, my grace, my redemptive power. It is a story I am writing to display my glory to the world. So I command you, do not grow weary in doing good. Do not despise your ordinary days, for it is in the ordinary that I am doing the extraordinary. Live your life for me, and you will leave behind the only legacy that will never fade away, a legacy that is not written in stone, but is eternally engraved on the hearts of those you touched with my love. My child, we have walked together down this path, speaking of trials and joys, of gifts and failures. But now I want to lead you to the bedrock, to the single, unshakable foundation upon which everything else rests. Every other hope can feel fragile at times, but I want to anchor your soul in the one event that changes everything for all time. Go back with me in your mind, 2,000 years ago, to a garden, to a borrowed tomb sealed with a heavy stone. The world saw it as the ultimate defeat, the final end of hope. But I saw it as the place where I was about to plant the single most powerful seed in the history of the universe, the resurrection of my Son, Jesus. From this one event, from that empty tomb on the third day, all true hope, all genuine forgiveness, and all promise of eternal life springs forth. The resurrection is not just a historical fact to be believed. It is a living, breathing power that is available to you right now. It is the ultimate guarantee that for those who are mine, no path, no matter how dark or painful, ends in a grave. Death has lost its sting. The finality of lust hath been shattered. This is the hope that transforms the way you view everything else on your path. This hope is not the world's hope. The world's hope is a fragile wish, a maybe. My hope is a living, powerful certainty. It is an unshakable anchor for your soul in the midst of life's raging storms. Because of the empty tomb, every trial you face is temporary. Every injustice you suffer will one day be made right. Every loss you grieve is not a final goodbye. Every failure you regret is covered by an irreversible victory. The same power that I used to raise Christ from the dead now lives inside of you. Think of that. The power to overcome death itself is your constant companion. So when the path gets dark, when the grave of a dream seems sealed and final, I command you to look to the empty tomb. Because he lives, you too shall live. The path I have planted for you does not end in despair or defeat. It leads through the temporary shadow of death and into the glorious, unending light of eternal life with me. This is your ultimate hope. Plant your life in it. We have stood together at the empty tomb. I have shown you the unshakable hope and the eternal legacy I am building through you. The end of the story is secure. But the journey from here to there is what we must speak of now. To stop listening would be to know the destination, but discard the map for the rest of the way. It would grieve me deeply to give you the promise of home, only for you to wander the rest of your path without the courage, the rest, and the perspective I am about to give you. Let me equip you for the final leg of your journey. Do not leave this conversation incomplete. I see your mind, my child. I see how it works. It is like Velcro for the negative things and Teflon for the positive. One critical comment can stick with you for a week, while 10 compliments slide right off. One problem, one worry, one lack can loom so large that it completely overshadows the hundreds of blessings that surround you. This is the natural bent of a mind in a fallen world. And the enemy loves it, for a discontented heart is infertile ground for faith. This is why I want to speak to you about one of the most powerful disciplines I have given you, the discipline of gratitude. You think of gratitude as a feeling, a spontaneous response that comes when something good happens. But in my kingdom, gratitude is not a feeling you wait for. It is a choice you make. It is a spiritual discipline. It is the act of intentionally opening your eyes and acknowledging my hand in all things, both the big and the small. I have planted countless reasons for gratitude all along your path, but you will miss them if you are only looking for what is wrong. A thankful heart is the most fertile soil, and in it, joy and peace can flourish, even in the middle of a drought. Gratitude is the key that unlocks the storehouses of my peace. When you practice gratitude, you are shifting your focus. You are taking your eyes off of the giants of your problems and fixing them on the giant of your God. You are shifting your perspective from what you lack to the overwhelming abundance of my provision. This act silences the enemy. His greatest weapon is the whisper of discontent, the lie that I am not good or that I am holding out on you. Gratitude is your shield against that lie. It is your declaration of faith that I am good, that I am faithful, and that I am at work in your life. So I command you today, make thankfulness the constant posture of your heart. Before you utter a complaint, force yourself to name 3 things you are thankful for. When you feel anxiety rising, begin to list my past faithfulness. This is not a suggestion for a happier life. It is my will for you, for your own good, for your own protection, and for your own deep, abiding joy. My child, I see you standing at the edge of the next step I have for you. Your feet feel as though they are encased in concrete. Fear is a cold hand gripping your heart, and it is screaming at you, a relentless barrage of what-ifs. It is listing all the ways you could fail, all the ways you could be rejected, all the ways you could be hurt. You look at what I am calling you to do, and you look at your own abilities, and you whisper back to me, I can't. I am not brave enough. My beloved, you must understand a fundamental truth. I have not given you a spirit of fear. That is not a seed from my garden. I have planted something else in you, a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound, disciplined mind. The courage you need for this next step is not something you have to manufacture on your own. It has already been planted within you, a dormant seed waiting for your faith to water it. Your fear is real. I do not discount it. The risks are real. But my presence with you is more real. My power within you is more powerful than any obstacle before you. I often call my children to a place that requires them to step out of the perceived safety of the boat and onto the turbulent waters, because it is on the water that you will learn to walk in my power, not your own. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is looking fear directly in the face and saying, my God is bigger than you. Every act of faith, no matter how small, strengthens the muscle of your courage. When you choose to speak up when it would be easier to be silent, when you choose to be generous when it would be easier to be fearful, when you take that one small, terrifying step of obedience, you are building your spiritual strength. I am with you. Do you hear me? I am with you. My hand is on your back. I will strengthen you, and I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So do not be afraid. Do not be dismayed. Look away from the wind and the waves and fix your eyes on me. The Creator of the wind and the waves is in the boat with you, and He is calling you to come. Take the step. I will not let you sink. You are weary, my child. I see it in the depths of your soul. You are weary to the bone. You carry the immense weight of your work, your family, your finances, your future, and the burdens of those you love. You wake up tired and you go to bed even more so. You feel that you are always striving, always pushing, always just one step away from everything falling apart. And you believe this is the normal, required state of a responsible life. My child, you were never meant to carry all of that. I have planted seasons of rest in your journey, a holy Sabbath for your weary soul. But you have been ignoring them, running right past the quiet places I have prepared for you. You think rest is a sign of laziness, a luxury you cannot afford. You think it is something you earn only after all the work is finally done. But of course, the work is never done. Listen to me. In my kingdom, rest is not the opposite of work. It is the foundation for it. My rest is not an activity. It is a deliberate and powerful act of trusting that I am in control, even when you are not. That constant, low-grade anxiety that hums beneath the surface of your days, that feeling that you are always behind, that is the friction of a soul trying to carry a burden I was always meant to bear. Striving and anxiety are the clearest signs that you are trying to do my job. So I give you the same command I have always given my people, the most loving invitation in the universe. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. This is not a suggestion. It is a command for your own healing. I am asking you to cease from your own works, to lay down the heavy yoke of self-reliance, and to take up my yoke, which is easy, and my burden, which is light. When you choose to enter into my rest, you are not giving up. You are giving the burdens to the one who can actually carry them. This soul rest, this deep and abiding peace that is not dependent on your circumstances, is a foretaste of the eternal rest that awaits you in my presence. I command you, lay down your striving, put down the weight, breathe, and let me give you the rest I have prepared for you. It is here. It is available. Receive it now. That problem you are facing, my child, it feels enormous, doesn't it? It is all-consuming. It is the first thing you think of in the morning and the last thing you worry about at night. It has blocked out the sun in your life, and its shadow touches everything. Your perspective is limited to the narrow confines of this present trouble. But I want to lift your gaze. I want to give you a different lens through which to see your life, the lens of eternity. The life you are living on this earth, which feels so very long and so very important, is, in the grand sweep of all that is, a vapor, is a breath. It is a blink of an eye compared to the unending, glorious eternity you will spend with me. When you begin to view your life through this lens, everything shifts. Your priorities are radically reoriented. The things that seem so massive and important in this world shrink to their proper size. The pursuit of wealth, the craving for approval, the fear of failure, these things become trivial when measured against the scale of eternity. The treasures you are tempted to store up here on earth are all subject to rust and decay, but the treasures you store up in heaven, acts of love, kindness, faithfulness, and worship, are the only investments that yield an eternal return. This is why I allow temporary trials in your life. I am using this light and momentary trouble to produce in you an eternal weight of glory that is far, far beyond all comparison. You are a citizen of heaven, my beloved. This world is not your home. You are a traveler, a pilgrim merely passing through. Do not invest all of your heart in this temporary inn. Keep your eyes fixed on the destination, on your eternal home. When you do this, the difficulties of the journey lose their power over you. The insults of this world fade when you remember the welcome that awaits you in the next. The losses of this life pale in comparison to the eternal inheritance I have secured for you. So lift your head. Look beyond the horizon of your present trouble. See your life from my perspective, and your soul will find a peace and a stability that this world can never give and can never take away. My child, we have walked this path together in this conversation. We have seen the purpose I have planted in your pain, the blessings I have planted in your detours, and the strength I have planted in your weakness. And now, I want to show you where it is all leading. I want you to see the final destination. For every step, every trial, every joy, every tear, and every breath I have planted in your path is ultimately leading you to one single, glorious place, whole. With me. I am not just the creator of your path. I am the destination at the end of it. The entire purpose of your journey is to bring you, finally and forever, into my loving arms. One day, you will take your last breath here and your first breath there. In that instant, every question will be answered. Every tear will be wiped away. Every wound will be healed. You will look back on the tapestry of your life, and you will see with your own eyes how every confusing, dark, and painful thread was woven together perfectly with the threads of gold and light to create an exquisite masterpiece of my grace. You will see the faces of those you loved who went before you, and you will see my face, and you will know that you are finally, completely, and eternally home. The goal is not just to finish the race, but to fall into my arms at the end of it. To hear me say, "Well done, my good and faithful child." Enter into the joy of your Lord. All of heaven will celebrate your arrival. This is not a fantasy. It is the most certain reality in the universe. It is the promise that I sealed with the blood of my own Son. So until that day comes, I give you this final command. Walk on in faith, my beloved. When the path is dark, remember the eternal light that awaits you. When you are weary, remember the eternal rest I have prepared for you. When you feel alone, remember the great reunion that is coming. I have planted the path. I have ordained the journey. And I am waiting for you, with a love that surpasses all understanding, at its glorious, beautiful end. Now that you see the path I have planted leads home to me, your gift becomes a lamp to light the way for another soul still wandering in the dark. Your heart asks, how can I bring others with me? This is your opportunity. I declared, lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, and this is what I meant, an eternal investment in souls. Your act of faith right now can alter someone's eternal trajectory. Do not let this moment pass. For everything you sow into my eternal kingdom, I will multiply a harvest of heavenly joy and purpose over your earthly life, and your own path home will be filled with my unmistakable favor. So act for eternity. Plant this seed of hope. Use Super Thanks. Join the mission as a member, or follow the PayPal link in the description, and partner with me in the great harvest of souls. My child, as these words settle in your spirit, let them not be a fleeting comfort, but a foundational truth upon which you build your days. The path you walk was planted by me, for you, with a love that is both infinite and intimate. Now, I invite you to seal this truth in your heart through an act of faith. Your spoken and written words carry immense spiritual weight. When you declare your belief, you are partnering with my promise, taking the seed I have offered you today and planting it firmly in the soil of your own life. You are telling your soul, the heavens, and any darkness that tries to assail you where you stand. So now I call you to act. Go to the space below this message and make your declaration. Let it be a simple, powerful statement from your heart. With your own hands, type out the words, Father, I trust the path you have planted for me. Let this be your public stake in the ground, a monument to this moment of understanding we have shared. Let your affirmation be a fragrant offering of your trust in me, the gardener of your soul. And if these words have been a spring of living water for you, then I ask you to become a channel of that water. Think of one person who feels lost, confused, or forgotten on their path. Share this message with them. In doing so, you are planting a seed of hope in their life, becoming the messenger I have sovereignly placed for them today. Know that I see every declaration. I honor every act of faith. I am with you, and I am for you, always. And I'll walk on in this unshakable truth. Amen. If you believe in me, your Heavenly Father, then like this video and leave a heartfelt amen in the comments. If you want to stay closer to me, then subscribe to this channel.